Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I'm going to be explaining like this part of the plane, and I'm probably guessing you don't know what that is, so let's start explaining, and be sure to stick around. So where did the sound go? Okay, so this thing I was talking about right here at the tail is called the APU. Now this stands for the Auxiliary Power Unit. Now this is used for electrical power, and just to like kickstart the engines, like just start the engines itself. So without an APU you cannot have any electrical power, and you cannot start the engines unless there's like this thing. I'm not sure I remember the name of it, but it can start an engine without using the APU. So what this is basically a small jet turbine, like a small jet turbine that can use power. So there's a small generator, and as the turbine spins it makes electricity, and it will start the engines, and it will make the lights appear. So if you can see, if I just on this light over here, it won't work because the APU isn't on. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to go to interface, electrical actually, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start the APU. So if I'll start the APU and I'll turn on main battery, and once the APU is on, that means the jet turbine is spinning correctly, and the numbers have appeared. That means the jet turbine is spinning correctly and it is producing electricity. So now the APU is on, and the main battery is powering everything: ECAM, lower ECAM, and the flight computer, navigational display, and the primary flight display is almost there. Should come around now. Yep, it's right there. So now the plane is started up. Now normally you on both engines, but so now we can start engine number 1, and as you can see, it's starting because the APU was on. Okay, now let's see. So for an example, I'm gonna use the movie Sully. Now, I don't know if you've seen it, but you should. It's a pretty good movie. And when the scene when the bird strike occurs, it basically Sully, the captain, turns on the APU. Now, why does he turn on the APU? He turns on the APU because to get electrical power for the cabin and all his instruments. Now, once an engine is on, it also powers. I should probably turn off this engine. It's too loud. Okay, so when the engine is on, it powers electricity for the cabin. Now, when the engine is not on, obviously there won't be any power from the cabin. That's when the APU comes into place. So he'll on that to make sure the cabin is getting enough lighting, and the passengers, aren't freaking out. And so he gets his instruments too. Now, when an APU, now APU is like a jet engine, as I said. It drinks fuel, it uses fuel, and just like engines, it can actually have a fire or something. So the APU actually also has a fire extinguisher, and I'm not very familiar with the 737 cockpit, but in an A320 cockpit there will be something where like a fire extinguisher APU test or something like that on that basis. And there'll also be like a test, just how you do the engines, to make sure that if the engine fails, the alarm will be working correctly for the APU fail and all that, and the fire extinguisher works in the APU. Now, Okay, so that's pretty much it about the APU. So I hope you enjoyed this short video, just briefly telling you about how the APU works, and I hope you enjoy like my explanation. So have a good day, guys.